Ejikpalichi?
Oh, Jeannie, yep, Jeannie's ready. It's 7 o'clock. I'll call the meeting to order. A motion for adoption of the agenda would be in order. Moved by Danny, seconded by Yvon. All in favor? Against? Carried. Are there any items on the agenda that would produce a conflict of interest? There being none, no presentations. Under 3, 4, adoption of minutes, 4.1, 15th of November 2017, regular council meeting. Are there any errors or omissions? If there are none, it shut off all by itself. Moved by Hector, seconded by Danny. All in favor? Against? Carried. 4.2, 29th of November 2017, special session of council. Are there any errors or omissions? If there are none, a motion to adopt is in order. Moved by Danny, seconded by Carl. All in favor say aye. Against? Carried. 4.3, 1st of November 2017. Are there any errors or omissions? No errors. A motion to adopt would be in order. Moved by Neil, seconded by Yvon. All in favor say aye. Against? Nay. Carried. 5, business arising from previous council meetings. There is none. 6, Warden's activity report. On the 18th of November, I went to a meeting of the Acadian Festival, which took place here in the municipal offices on the 21st of November. I was at a meeting of the board of Harborside Lodge in Yarmouth. On the 24th of November, I attended a meeting of the welcoming committee for new arrivals. This was sponsored by the CDNE. They were supposed to make a presentation here this evening, so the director will be looking for a new position. So there 2 or 3 years ago, the CDNE came to the council asking our agreement for someone who would be in charge of a welcoming committee for immigrants in the 4 Acadian regions, Argyll, Shitchgan here. When the federal government decided to assist the Syrian refugees, this program was put to one side for a number of years. Then for over a year, this application was there but not used. But when they reached the 10,000 Syrian refugees, they looked at their applications and they were approved. Essentially, this cost the council nothing, and it was looked after by the CDNE. It has to do with how we welcome the new arrivals and immigrants in our community, and how we deal with different groups. So if there is someone who would like to take the position, they will come to the board for with a presentation. On the 24th of November, it was the YMCA Yarmouth and Digby, and the board of the library, and Carl DeVoe was there too. It was for temporary workers at Riverside Lobster. This was it was a very good evening, and we'll be making more of them. The reason is that the YMCA of Yarmouth and Digby is that Clare doesn't have a YMCA, and the YMCA ordinarily looks after immigrants in the province. So together, Yarmouth and Digby cover Clare. On the 25th of November, I attended the firemen's banquet in Little Brook, and then I had an interview with the Digby Courier under 2017 year in review, and I discussed the problems that the municipality had faced over the year: agriculture, the lighthouse at Cape St. Mary, internet, and a number of other things. And this will be coming out soon. They do this with all the municipalities, Digby Town, etc. That's my report. Are there any questions? If there are none, we go to 7, official statements from members of council. And before we go to that, we had a discussion at the council and committee. The official statements were more or less in terms of anniversaries and accomplishments of residents. As a council, we decided to open this to more kinds of announcements like meetings and events in your districts to advise the public of them. So does anyone have an official presentation? Carl. As the warden just noted, on the 24th of November, I was at a reception at the Matagan Library to meet the immigrants who are working at Riverside. It was a good afternoon that we spent there. I would also like to note the volleyball team from the Clare High School, boys, Team A, Division 3, won the provincial championship. Also, the girls, Team A, Senior, Division 2, also won the championship for the province. So boys and girls, seniors, are provincial champions. Thank you. Is there someone else who has a presentation? I would like to remark that Edith Thibodeau will be 103 years old tomorrow, and I would like a certificate to be prepared for her. Very good. Is there someone else? Eric? I'd like to mention that last Thursday I had the pleasure of going to a candlelight supper at Villa. It's the Christmas supper for the residents, and I helped them prepare the supper. It's very impressive. They have the ukuleles who did the entertainment. It was really good, and it was good to have the music for them. Thank you. Is there someone else? If there are no more, we go to 8, correspondence. 8.1, letter from the Clare Community Health Board, signed by Shauna Como. The members of council, following on the decision of the federal government to legalize cannabis in July 2018, the 11 community health councils of the Western Nova Scotia wish to indicate to you that they endorse the recommendations of Injury-Free Nova Scotia and its partners. The objects of the new law are to restrict access by young people to cannabis, to protect the health and security of the public, to discourage and reduce criminal activities, and to reduce the burden placed on the justice system. In order to reach these objectives, all levels of government have to take steps in public health. The health of the public should be a priority, and we should look to protect our children and minimize negative impacts. Public health has to do with maximizing the benefits and minimizing the negative impacts to reduce inequalities between populations and to ensure that the repercussions of interventions are not disproportionate with regard to the negative effects. We encourage the different levels of government in Nova Scotia to provide a framework for the control, production, and distribution and access to cannabis. And we ask you to adhere to the recommendations of Injury-Free Nova Scotia. The cannabis will be sold in separate stores. The access should be strictly regulated, and the packaging should not be attractive to young people. The government will have absolute authority on the regulations. To the neutral packaging is important. Publicity by cannabis companies should be forbidden, and the age will be 19 years, as for alcohol. In the past, the Nova Scotian government has shown its commitment to public health in the matter of public spaces without smoke-free, and we hope that you will cooperate in this effort to provide a framework under the new laws authorizing the use of cannabis. If we join forces in order to cooperate in order to establish regulations under the new law. Thank you for your consideration of this letter. We hope that we will keep the dialogue open as the date for implementation approaches. Thank you. Yours very truly.
Are there any questions or comments? I don't think it has anything from us. 8.2, letter from Western Counties Regional Library. I would like to thank you to accept our invitation for the reception to meet the International Workers for Riverside Industrial on 29th of November. Your presence and your speeches were greatly I would like to thank you cordially from the response for French services. Then we go to 8.2, letter from Minister of Municipal Affairs, the Honorable Derek Bourbourquet.
I am pleased to inform you that a check in the amount of $3,358.81 will be mailed to your office from the 9/11 Cost Recovery Fund. 911 Cost Recovery Fund. As in past years, the purpose of this funding is to provide for the recovery of the incremental costs associated with the administration of civic addressing programs at the municipal level. I want to take this opportunity to express my thanks to you and your staff for the excellent support provided to the Nova Scotia 911 system, without which we could not continue to deliver the very high caliber of service that Nova Scotians have come to expect. Should you have any questions, please contact the Emergency Management Office toll-free at 1-866-424-5620. Sincerely, Derek Bourbourquet, Minister.
It's good night to receive checks. It's always a pleasure. I don't know if you have any questions regarding this. 8.4, a letter from the Clare Digby Minor Hockey Association by Jeremy Sanford. Before I read the letter, I would like to tell you that I spoke to Mr. Sanford this evening. The letter that he sent you last week had an error. The last line, the group was asking $1,000 from Université Sedan and 10,000 from, and he sent me a revised letter this evening, which I'm reading.
Has been working hard this year to promote and organize ice hockey for children in our community. These children are from the ages of 4 to 18 and reside from Salmon River to Annapolis Royal. This year, one of our challenges is to comply with new regulations set by Hockey Nova Scotia to minimize the playing surface for our younger players between the ages of 4 and 8 years old, IP and novice levels. This will be accomplished by dividing the ice surface in half and having the players play games on the smaller surface where they will have more puck touches and more of a chance to participate. The Clare Digby Minor Hockey Association has embraced this concept and as such has committed to purchasing foam dividers to separate the ice surface. These dividers cost $2,300 and will be stored at the University Arena. Their design allows for multi-seasonal and multi-sport use, such as ball hockey, bike rodeos, etc. We propose that these dividers be used by any arena-sponsored event. We have also made efforts this year to be fiscally responsible to our membership, and as such have had to make some tough decisions regarding ice scheduling while keeping the fees affordable. We hope to improve our ice usage per player into the future as our financial position and fundraising initiatives improve. We are requesting support in the amount of $1,000 from the municipality of Clare to assist with the cost of these rink dividers. Thank you for your consideration. Sincerely, Jeremy Sanford, Treasurer.
What is your, would like, we doesn't come to committee of council before making a motion, but at certain times we'll take a decision. I don't know what we would like to treat these. Do you want to treat this request this evening? If not, it will go to committee of council, and then we'll bring it back to our meeting in January to decide, or we can decide this evening, Carl. I don't know if it's better or if it's the right place. If they could send this grants to organizations and then fill the requested forms, and then we can take it from there, or take this one as a request, this letter as a request. I think I support this request because the young people today, it would help them to touch the puck, as he says. The younger people, as we see now, there's an association with the Clare and Digby minor hockey. So another thing is that in summer, since they will be stored here and for recreation, would be capable of doing events, and this would be a plus for us for mini handball or ball hockey, and organize certain tournaments. I think for just $1,000, I think they probably need it now because hockey is on the go right now. So I'd be ready to present the motion this evening. So there is a motion on the table.
You willing to second the motion?
Seconded by Danny. Reality,
Right on.
when you took, this is a perfect application. Often we have applications that have to be discussed that they don't fit in the criteria, but this touches a lot of people, young people. So this being said, is there any debate on this motion? I would just like to make it clear that what I mentioned previously, I support this. It's just I was asking if it was the right way to proceed or not. but I really agree with the motion. In reality, you're right, the procedure should be that it should go to grants to operations, but in certain cases, and with small amounts, council has decided to advance with the request. You were right, the regular procedure would have been to pass through the grants to organizations, but since everybody is comfortable with this request, is there any more discussion or debate on this motion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Against, motion carried. If we
So we have a number of projects on the go. There's the sewer treatment plant in Church Point. We're waiting for the construction of the 3 control panels. According to our panel shop, the deadline is the 29th of December 2017, and the date to commission the panels is the 31st of January 2018. We had the visit of Tim Barnes on the 18th of December. He's an engineer with municipal affairs to advise on the project and to observe our progress towards the realization of the project. According to Tim, the visit went very well. He identified no problem with the project. At present, the project is going ahead on schedule and under budget. For the extension of the sewers on John Thibodeau Road, there are no new developments. We hope to go to NRSP again in the new year. For the cultural hub at the old school in Comoville, the new sewer system and the parking behind the building are now completed. The landscaping behind the building will take place in the spring. We are waiting on for the steps behind the building. This will be difficult given the season, but we hope to advance on with that part of the project at the end of the month or in January. We have filed an application under accessibility with the province. The maximum amount under that program is 10,000, and we asked for the maximum of 10,000. We're also working on additional funding from ACOA for 33 or 30,000. We have to contribute $30,000 on our part, and there's a motion on the agenda for later this evening, which we hope will be approved. Concerning the Clare 250, as we heard at the meeting of the council and committee, the planning committee has developed a preliminary program for the 250th anniversary. The activities include the reconstitution of the Oath of Allegiance by Solomon Maillet, an evening, celebrations of Canada Day, celebration of the arrival of Joseph Dugas, a photo exhibition, wine and cheese, and an event at Cape St. Mary. The next meeting of the committee will be on the 2nd of January, and the work will continue. As for the Cape St. Mary Lighthouse Park, the post and rope is completed. The website is developed and will be launched in January 2018. The interpretative panels have been completed. They will be installed in the spring. The monument will be installed at the end of April or the beginning of May 2018. We also sent a letter to our MLA, Gordon Wilson, asking that the road which goes to the park and the parking be paved before the Grand Fondo 2018, and the official opening will be in May 2018 under the 250th anniversary celebrations. On the Echo Park, we have no new developments. We are in contact with with persons interested in our equipment. Bellevos Cove Development Commission. The commission is pursuing its negotiations to purchase the boat of Jean Béliveau. I talked to them earlier this evening. They asked us to come and make a presentation on the 3rd of January at the committee and council, and they will be talking about their efforts, their negotiations to purchase the boat, and their new project for the park. The fire hall in St. Bernard, no new developments there. The specifications for electric and plumbing are completed. We're waiting on specifications for the construction, and we are told we will have them this week, and we should be able to put out the tender in a week or two. The ADC Annapolis Digby Clare pilot project came out of the mission to China. This would be for developing tourism with China. Larry Peach and I, and representatives from Digby and Annapolis, and also from the Nova Scotia Department of Intergovernmental Affairs and Tourism Nova Scotia, our discussion focused on the provincial strategy for China, and also the sectors which the government is hoping to develop.
Ocean technology,
English.
agri-foods, education, tourism, energy, transportation, logistics.
The efforts of the municipality through the project ADC have 3 of those 8 projects: education, seafood, and tourism. We have submitted our plan to the province. The ACOA is a potential provider of funds. The activities were not eligible for their program. In spite of that news, the 3 municipalities are working to set up an itinerary which we hope to present to the council, and we wish to advance the project. The sign on the 101 highway at the exit 28, which mentions l'Université Sainte-Anne, was inaugurated today. We will mention that on our website and our Facebook page. The electoral boundary review, as I mentioned at the special meeting on the 29th of November, Stantec Consulting has been hired as a result of the RFP to complete the revision of electoral boundaries. There are 2 stages. The first stage has to do with the size of the council, and the second stage has to do with the boundaries of the districts, and we should be respecting plus or minus 10% between the districts. For the first stage, we have organized a survey which is online at www.clarenovascotia.ca, or on the Facebook page for the municipality. If you don't have access to that, it's possible to fill out a hard copy here at the municipal office or at the library in Meteghan. The survey concentrates on the size of the board and includes 5 questions, so it doesn't take very long to complete. It will remain open until midnight on the 14th of January. The results will be presented at a public meeting, which will take place at the Veterans Center in Saulnieville on the 16th of January 2018. If we have a storm on that date, the meeting will take place on the 18th of January, Thursday, at the same time. Concerning the financial aspect, on the 30th of November in 2017, we had $8,214,000 approximately, and expenses of $5,387,000 approximately, for net revenue of about $8 million. Once again, for the 30th of November, the municipality had a balance of $2,356,000 approximately in its bank account, $190,000 in its capital fund, for a total in reserve of $3,836,000 approximately. The $3,036,000 was divided in a way that the interpreter does not have in front of him. For capital, $2,630,000 approximately. Landfill closure reserve, an amount the interpreter did not get, and our gas tax reserve, $436,000 approximately, and we are still waiting for our allocation for 2016. And I also participated in a number of meetings on 15th of November.
I went in Yarmouth with Councillor Danny Hill, and our meeting Shaping Our Future Together. The bylaw committee met on December 4th, and I met also Rifat Bediba, which is a member of the Clare Health Foundation, to discuss the efforts of council to put the foundation and their activities for. I also met with Nova Scotia Department of Intergovernmental Affairs on December 12th, and with Tim Barnes, the engineer, on the 18th of November, and this is my report. Thank you. Are there questions on this report? Yes, now we go to number 10, the Building Permits Committee. Danny?
You'll have to put your mic on.
The building reports in November of 2016, there were 14 permits issued for a value of construction of $355,000. And November of this year, there was 15 permits for a total value of construction of $556,000. That's up a little bit, but for the year, in November of 2016, it was 171 for $8.4 million of construction. And this year, it was 229 permits for $11,147,000. So up close to $3 million over a year. That's good for us.
Very good. Noted the question.
Are there any questions? Thank you. Then we go to new items. Motion to amend the bylaw number 1, a bylaw respecting interpretation. Ryan? For the bylaw, for the interpretation, there was a few changes and modifications. I had definitions added, and it was to add more definitions and also to be more in line with the UNSM. So there were a few changes done on this bylaw, and tonight I'd like to pass the first reading. Is there somebody who wants to make the motion?
Before I make the motion, I'd like to say it's a really good idea to do it because it clears up a lot of things with the new definitions. I move that the municipality of the District of Clare recommend reading bylaw number 1, amendment number 01-01-2017, a bylaw respecting interpretation, and that the bylaw be read for the first time by title only.
As-tu quelqu'un qui va appuyer ça?
Is there somebody who'd like to second this? Seconded by Hector. Is there a discussion on this motion? If not, all those in favor indicate by saying yes. Against, motion carried. Just to clarify, he has to read the name of the bylaw a second time.
Je sais pas.
The bylaw number 1, amendment number 01-01-2017, a bylaw respecting interpretation.
Ça va le faire officiel.
This makes it official. Then we go to 11.2, motion to modify bylaw number 9 concerning respecting noise, first reading. For this bylaw concerning noise, earlier in the year, we had passed the first reading, and there were members of public and the community that had a lot of preoccupations regarding to get more concise. So the bylaw committee and our lawyer and Mr. Seed, we met on December 4th, and we brought a few changes to make it more clear and to better understand the bylaw. One of the changes was that the bylaw is in English, so I will read part 1, Schedule A, and it said,
listed below are deemed to be activities which are likely to generate noise or sound that disturbs the peace. Peace à l'état là. Ce que tu say,
and it stopped there, what was added, if this sounds,
the activity can be heard at point of reception. So, like, plus
more or less, we must be able to hear this noise so that it would be considered as a cause. So this is one of the preoccupations from the public, and the second one was in part 2. We changed the hours. First it says activities prohibited before 8 a.m. and after 9.
heard at point of reception. Astor said the activities prohibited before
Now it says,
les heures avocat et l'heure
so the hours changed now because some people would like to reduce the time in the morning and extend it later in the evening. So these are the 2 major changes that we made, and I think people will understand it better, and I encourage people to go on this website where it will be put and see if they want there any more feedback. This being said, I propose that we do the first reading. I will do the motion. I propose that the Municipal District of Clare recommend reading bylaw number 9, amendment number 09-01-2017, a bylaw respecting noise, and that the bylaw be read for the first time by title only. Is somebody like to second this? Seconded by Carl. Is there a discussion on this motion? Are the changes all clear for you? All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Against, motion carried. So, Brian, you have to read the title bylaw number 9, amendment number 09012017, a bylaw respecting noise. And then we go to 11.3, motion to contribute to the ADC pilot project. Stefan, do you want? This is a follow-up of the presentation that Larry Peach did on tourism regarding the ADC project that I mentioned earlier. Larry will give you an update on this project. According to the activities that you're looking at, the people, there will be workshops how to deal with the people from China. There's a specific name for this course, and also develop promotional materials, video, banners, specifically for the Chinese market that will be translated in English and Mandarin. There's also the possibility to send a delegation to China. The budget that was proposed for this will be $54,000, and essentially division by one-third, and this was proposed at the time with the federal, provincial and municipal levels. During the meeting of Committee of Council, we had recommended a motion, a sum of $6,000 conditional on the balance of the cost of the project. So the balance is not yet confirmed.
So we're recommending that this motion be adopted this evening. Is there someone who wants to make the motion? Hector? Your microphone, please. I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare contribute $6,000 to the ADC pilot project contingent upon confirmation of the balance of funding. Is there a seconder? Seconded by Yvon. Is there any discussion? Just for small contact, the municipality of Clare, we went to China to sign friendship agreements. One thing that came out of that is for the year 2018, China recommends, I'm not sure what the proper term is, but China designates Canada as a tourist destination for all of China. So the 3 municipalities will be taking advantage of that. As Stéphane mentioned, one of our 3 priorities is tourism. So we will be taking advantage of this designation for Canada. This is a good opportunity. I just wanted to mention that there are possibilities to develop tourism from China in our region. Is there any other discussion? If there is none, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Carried. 11.4, motion to funding to hire a staff resource to aid with the ADC pilot project. Stefan? Yes. Before I begin, the title is a bit misleading. The reason to hire the staff resource is not just for the ADC, but also to take advantage of opportunities in the private sector. It's there's a twofold aspect. There's tourism and human and aid for the private sector. Once again, this application, this motion comes out of the mission to China and there were ideas presented by the private sector. This is a challenge concerning transactions with the Chinese market. Concerning language, there were challenges and barriers. So this was emphasized by a number of businesses. So we will be hiring someone able to facilitate this dialogue, someone who would be able to work in English and Mandarin. And this would provide a resource for businesses from Clare and Digby to take advantage of the Chinese market. So what we are proposing is to ask ACOA for funding for a grant for specifically minority language contexts. And this would be for the costs in connection with the salary of this resource person. So more or less that's what it is. We all know the importance of the fishing industry in our municipality, and we see what is happening with NAFTA and the United States at this point in time. So the idea of sending lobsters and other products to China, given the large population there, you can hardly imagine that they could easily buy all the lobsters we can supply. As Stefan said, the big challenge is language. People who do business in China quite often, as I saw when I was there, they don't speak a word of English, and we don't speak much Chinese. But so if we could so if we can take advantage of this market, when I talk about fishing, the person would also be available for the mink sector or any other sector to develop markets. So we need a motion. Is there someone who wishes to make the motion? Danny?
I move that the council for the municipality of the District of Clare apply to ACOA for funding to hire a staff resource for 52 weeks, fluent in both English and Mandarin, to aid with the ADC pilot project and other related initiatives focusing on private sector development.
Okay.
Is there a seconder? Seconded by Neil. Is there a discussion? Comments? If there are none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. 11.5, motion to amend the name of Cape St. Mary's Road. This is was Yvon Leblanc who brought this to our attention. There's a sign in reality, the name should be Cape St. Mary Road without an apostrophe. Talking with Gary Sullivan, he said it's not necessary to do a survey. A motion in council is sufficient. Yvon, would you like to make the motion? I move that the council for the municipality of the District of Clare amend the name of Cape St. Mary's Road to Cape St. Mary Road. Is there a seconder? Seconded by Eric. Is there a discussion on the motion? Yvon, do you want to speak to this? If there's no other discussion, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. 11.6, motion to approve up to an additional $30,000 towards the Cultural Hub project. In our recent discussions with ACOA concerning the Cultural Hub, we approached them to discuss pushing forward the date because we've had a few unexpected developments. We hope to finish the project, or we had hoped to finish it before the winter. So we want the completion date to be postponed to the end of the spring. There is no problem with that. And during those discussions, we were indicated that there's a possibility of having additional funds from the agency for the project. The amount of 30,000 was mentioned. It's not confirmed, but mentioned as a possibility. So to do this, we need a motion, a substantive amendment, it's called in English, to our original submission to explain what we want to do with that money. There's certainly no lack of work that needs to be done on the building. Secondly, and this impacts the council, to have access to this money, they ask for matching funding from the municipality. So $30,000 additional from ACOA would mean that the council should be willing to invest its own 30,000. So yes. So this is a good leveraging. It's $150,000. So it's excellent leveraging, 50-50.
So there's always the possibility to have $10,000 more from the province if we participate in a certain program. If we have money from the from ACOA, and we complete the work and we don't need the full amount, we can return the money and we won't be penalized for it. But what we propose, revising what we have accomplished up to now with the project and what remains to be done in the building, the recommendation is to pursue the possibility of acquiring this 30,000 additional. Is there somebody who wants to do the motion? Carl? I move that the council for the municipality of the district of Clare approve up to an additional $30,000 towards the Cultural Hub project contingent upon matching funding from ACOA. Somebody wants to second this motion? Seconded by Eva. Is there a discussion on this motion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Motion carried. 11th motion to authorize the CAO to commence an assessment regarding the Metegan sidewalk. I can talk about this with you. During the last meeting, Councillor Potier had mentioned the need to do certain work on certain of the sidewalks in Metegan and to try to align this with the provincial projects that will be done later this year. To start the process, we want to see what needs to be done, how it can be done, and how much it would cost, and also try to see what can be done regarding this work, and give me a direction by council to start these inquiries. Eric, do you wish to add anything? The rumors are the paving will be done from Metegan River bridge up to the exit in Metegan, and if they will be doing this next summer, I think it would be the perfect time to make do the sidewalks, because there's grants that can apply to the sidewalks at the same time. So I'd be ready to read the motion. I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare authorize the CAO to commence an assessment and issue a request for proposal for the repair of sidewalks in Metegan. Somebody wants to second this? Seconded by Hector. Is there a discussion on this motion? If I'm right, I think they announced the 5-year plan, capital plan for the roads this week, I think, at the beginning of this week. And I think that that project is on it. And I was kind of advised indirectly that maybe we'll have an RSP this week, this winter. They won't wait till May. And they will contact Stefan to discuss that we can work together. So that's the news I received today. So if council adopts this motion, I think we'll have to carry this quite fast on this project in order to be able to complete it in time, if to match the timeline of the province regarding this project. Is there any more discussion? If all those in favor indicate by saying yes. The motion carried. Motion to name a road, Rocky Shore Road. Thank you. This is the Placid Como Road, but it's the part of the road that goes to the ocean. We had make a survey with residents of this road. There were a couple of names proposed, and the two names were rejected. From then the residents came back to us with Rocky Shore Road ou le chemin de la Côte Rocheuse as a suggestion for this road. We have the signatures necessary to approve this request according to our policy. The proposed also respects our policy regarding how to name roads, and it is the recommendation of the staff here to accept the recommendation of the residents and call this road Rocky Shore Road ou chemin de la Côte Rocheuse. Is there somebody who would like to make this motion? Brian? Should I mention all the numbers? I can. I move that the road shared by the properties, PID property identification number 3005946, 300594555, 300593331, 300593356, 300593304, 300593315, 300592299, 300593323, and 3020895 be officially named as follows: in English, Rocky Shore Road; in French, Chemin de la Côte Rocheuse. Is there somebody who would like to second this motion? Seconded by Rick. Is there a discussion on this motion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Against, motion carried. There is in camera there's only one item. It's the Cape St. Mary Lighthouse Park. But before we say good evening in the name of the council, I'd like to wish everybody a good Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And council would like to hope that you have a good vacation, and I'd like to say good evening. Proposed by Neil, approved by Yvon. All those in favor, motion carried.